In her victory speech, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris spoke to the
While I may be the first woman in this office, I'll be the last. Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities.
Harris represents many firsts: the first woman, first Black American, and first South Asian American Vice President-elect. She's the daughter of immigrants from Jamaica and India. She proudly emphasized her roots with fellow Indian American Mindy Kaling, cooking dosa during her own presidential primary campaign. She is also a graduate of Howard University and is a member of the nation's first Black sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. Today, she often celebrates her connection to historically in universities, sometimes dancing with marching bands trail. It's a milestone that's inspired many. We invited viewers to weigh in on what her historic inauguration will mean to them. Hundreds of people responded.
I was from the UK. I was only able to vote in this election as I became a citizen last year. So to be a part of something and then to see myself up there, it's just amazing.
I feel like I can breathe because I feel like I can be hopeful for the first time in a very long time. I'm proud to see someone who represents so many different facets of who we are sitting at the table.
For the Indian community, it's very exciting that we feel more accepted, as immigrants.
I think we have an opportunity on so many issues: civil rights, climate, the coronavirus, the economy, to actually help people.
And across social media, young girls dressed up, including her signature sneakers. Tanya Vivian's daughter, Ophelia, one of them.
She's years old. She has no idea what's going on, and I can't wait to share with her as she gets older. This death resonates differently. As a Black, it really means everything. It means that anything is truly possible for her, and I just am excited about the future, and that's just something I haven't felt in so long.
Even before this moment, Harris had broken many barriers. She was the first Black woman to serve as Attorney General of California. She was only the second Black woman to serve as a United States Senator. It's hard to express just how excited she is about Harris's election.
For me, on a personal level, it really is a matter of coming to grips with the fact that I really was more of a role model and not an object lesson. I mean, right now, there are more women in the United States Congress than ever before. And I think that's just going to continue.
Yet even in her excitement, Mosley Braun added that Harris should ready herself for an onslaught of criticism and perhaps unfair expectations.
We will not have really arrived until Kamala Harris gets treated like any other vice president in history, like Dan Quayle, Mike Pence, you name it, and not have to rise to the occasion of being something unusual. And we haven't gotten there yet, but we will. And she's setting the table to make it happen.
In Harris's August speech after her selection was announced, she paid tribute to the women who came before her.
These women inspired us to pick up the torch and fight on. Women like Mary Church Terrell, Mary Cloyd Bethune, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Diane Nash, Constance Baker Motley, and the great Shirley Chisholm. We're not often taught their stories, but as Americans, we all stand on their shoulders.
Philadelphia celebrated the win, but representation isn't all that matters, Candace McKinley.
It's nice to have people that look like me, who might have family members that look like mine, but if they're not actually fighting for my community and for policies and laws that will actually help my community, then that doesn't mean much to me.
Eddie Glaude Jr. is the James S. McDonald Distinguished University Professor of African American Studies at Princeton University.
I think Black women need to claim this victory, and in doing so, insist on having and wielding actual power. And so this representational moment is important. The symbolic significance of a Black woman being the Vice President of the United States is important. But what we need in our communities right now are policies that will address the suffering that engulfs our communities today.
That's something Harris has promised to do. And as she looks toward the inauguration, she's already acknowledging the tough road ahead.
As I said the night we won this election, now is when the real work begins. the necessary work, the good work of getting this virus under control, saving lives, and beating this pandemic, and opening our economy responsibly while rebuilding it so that it works for working people.
It's a tough road being paved for the first time. We turn now to explore the diversity of the rest of the Biden team with Representative Karen Bass, Democrat of California and the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. Thanks so much for being here. There are reports that the Congressional Black Caucus is not happy with the diversity of the Biden-Harris picks so far. And there are also reports that you're pushing for possibly the Secretary of Defense or possibly the Attorney General to be a person of color and African American. How concerned is the CBC about the diversity of the picks now? And are you at all concerned that maybe the picks are not diverse enough?
Well, first of all, let me tell you what the process the CBC is using as a caucus. There are 59 members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and so with a caucus of 59, you are definitely going to have people who have different opinions. So we have formed a Biden-Harris 100-day task force where we are collecting names and making recommendations of individuals that we feel should serve in the administration. We are in regular contact with the administration, and so we feel that the communication has been strong. We are absolutely elated that 2 of our members have already been tapped for the administration. First and foremost, of course, is my senator from California, who will be sworn in as the vice president in less than 50 days. And then Cedric Richmond, who is a former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, who is going to be serving as in a very senior way within the administration. We do believe that the diversity so far has been terrific. Linda Thomas Greenfield is the ambassador to the UN, and then the individual that will be on the Economic Council, who will be elevated to a cabinet position. Of course, we would like to see other African Americans appointed to key positions such as the Attorney General or the Defense Secretary. But to say that the Congressional Black Caucus is happy with the diversity so far, I believe is an overstatement. I don't believe that is true. There are many more appointments that need to be made, and already we have seen African Americans in very significant roles.
You talked through some of the diverse cabinet picks there. There are civil rights groups like the NAACP, like the Urban League, who are saying that they have requested a meeting with President-elect Biden. They have not gotten one. They're saying they're not getting a seat at the table in the way that they should. What do you make of that?
Well, what I have heard as of yesterday is that meeting is being planned. That meeting will take place. Now, maybe that meeting should have taken place already, and it hasn't. The civil rights groups are doing what they feel is correct, and I think that that is just fine, and know that they will have a seat at the table and that they will be speaking with the president-elect soon.
So when the civil rights groups say that he's not listening to them enough, that he's not maybe putting enough Black people in high-level senior positions, your point is give him some time?
Well, my point is the Congressional Black Caucus is separate from the civil rights community. We have regular contact with the administration, weekly meetings in our task force where we are looking at making recommendations. And I believe if the civil rights community has not connected with the administration, they absolutely should. And it's something that should have happened already. The fact that it hasn't, I think I mentioned that I believe a meeting is set up now.
Are you got any names being floated out there? There's Rahm Emanuel that the NAACP is taking issue with, saying that he has a problematic past when it comes to police shootings. Anyone that on your radar that you look at and say we don't want that person?
I will tell you, we have not had that discussion within the CBC at all. We are viewing it more from a proactive stance. We haven't been examining appointments and having opinions one way or another. I know that many of the civil rights groups feel that way. And again, what the civil rights groups are doing, I think, is fine. What the Congressional Black Caucus is doing is different. We have a very specific process.
There are reports that you're being considered for the Housing and Urban Development Secretary and that you may fill the Senate seat being vacated by Senator Harris when she becomes Vice President Harris. Can you tell us whether or not you're being considered for any of those positions, especially given that the Senate will have no Black women when Senator Harris leaves office?
Well, let me just tell you that I find it interesting because I see in the paper that I'm being considered for all sorts of things. I absolutely think there needs to be an African-American woman in the Senate. I mean, the idea that in the U.S. Senate right now there are 3 African-Americans, soon to be just 2. And when Senator Harris, soon to be Vice President Harris, leaves, there will be 1 African-American Democrat in the Senate. And so, of course, I think that that's something that should be addressed. As to whether or not I'm under consideration, know that I am interested and willing to serve in whatever area in which I'm tapped. So I want to get in there, whether it's within the House, the administration, the Senate, whatever. I am more than willing to continue to serve.
Well, thank you so much, Congresswoman Bass, the chair of the Congressional Caucus.
You're welcome.
Super rich, superficial,
that's luxury,
and super humble.
There's a lady who would only bathe in Evian water.
For one lavish week, live the high life. Where